A new chapter of life. You've lived through decades of life. The noise, the rush, the responsibilities, the heartbreaks, the victories, and the many in-betweens. And now here you are, in a chapter of life that many often misunderstand. But
what if this was the moment you've actually been waiting for? A time not defined by limitations, but by liberation. Aging isn't just about the passing of time. It's about the growing of wisdom.
it's about learning what truly matters and what doesn't. And one of the most powerful things we can learn as we grow older is how to let go. Letting go of regret. Letting go of pressure. Letting go of the stress we once thought we had to carry. You see, stress doesn't have to be a permanent guest in your life. In fact, the later years are the perfect time to release it. Not because life gets easier, but because we get better at understanding what's worth worrying about and what simply isn't. In this journey, we'll walk through the subtle and beautiful art of letting go, not in a careless way, but in a conscious, freeing, peaceful way. A way that honors your life, your wisdom, and your right to live with ease. Because letting go of stress isn't about giving up, it's about choosing peace. Welcome to the gift of aging. Chapter 1. Understanding the nature of stress. Stress. It's a word we've heard so many times, but how often have we truly stopped to understand it? In simple terms, stress is the body's response to a perceived threat. When you're young, it might be a looming deadline, a difficult relationship, or financial worries. And while those pressures often fade with age, the stress they create can leave a lasting impression if we don't learn how to release it. Many of us spent our earlier decades on high alert, rushing to meet expectations, raise families, maintain careers, or navigate uncertain paths. We became experts at carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders. But here's something important to know. Stress is not just in your mind, it lives in your body. It sits in your muscles, your breath, your heartbeat. And over time, it can wear you down in ways that feel invisible until it's too heavy to ignore. The good news? You don't need to keep carrying that weight. As we age, we naturally begin to slow down. But more than that, we're given an invitation to re-examine our emotional habits. To ask, do I really need to worry about this? Or is this mine to carry? You begin to see that many of the things that caused stress in the past were rooted in trying to control the uncontrollable, or please people who never truly understood us. Now, with the wisdom of years behind you, you have permission to let go, not just of tasks or responsibilities, but of the invisible tension inside you. That's where the real freedom begins. Chapter 2. The Wisdom of Experience. There's a quiet strength in people who've lived through many seasons of life. You don't need to prove yourself anymore. You don't need to win anyone's approval. You've already earned your place in the world. And with that comes something extraordinary. Emotional resilience. Research has shown that older adults are often better at regulating their emotions than younger people. Why? Because you've seen enough to know that storms pass. You've faced losses and heartbreaks and come out the other side. You've learned what's truly important and what isn't worth your energy. You understand that not every battle is worth fighting. Not every opinion needs a response. Not every problem is yours to solve. That kind of wisdom is priceless. You begin to say things like, I don't need to stress about that anymore. I've been through worse. This too shall pass. I'm choosing peace this time. This wisdom doesn't make you emotionless. In fact, it makes you deeply human. But now, your emotions are guided by understanding rather than urgency. Stress loses its grip when wisdom takes its place. And that's one of the most beautiful gifts of aging. The ability to finally trust that you'll be okay, no matter what. Chapter 3. Rewriting the script of aging. The world often tells us that growing older means becoming less active, less useful, less valuable. But let's challenge that idea right here, right now. What if aging isn't about becoming less, but about becoming more? More free, more authentic, more centered in your truth. For so many years, we live according to someone else's script, chasing goals that weren't even ours, trying to be what others needed us to be. But now, the pen is in your hand, and you get to rewrite the story. You don't have to prove your productivity to feel worthy. You don't have to be busy to be valuable. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. This is the season of permission. Permission to rest without guilt. Permission to slow down and still be strong. Permission to let go of old identities and embrace who you are now. Stress comes when
we live out of alignment with our true selves. But peace arrives when we finally live as we are, and aging gives you the perfect excuse to do just that. Chapter 4. Decluttering the Mind and Heart. We often think of decluttering as something we
do with our closets, garages, or drawers. But what if the most important place to declutter is within ourselves? The older we get, the more we accumulate, not just things, but thoughts, memories, regrets, and emotional burdens. Some of these we carry without realizing how heavy they've become. Think about it. Old grudges, past mistakes, words we wish we hadn't said, love we gave and never got back, expectations we never met. All of these can create invisible stress, a kind of emotional clutter that weighs down the heart and fogs the mind. But now is the perfect time to let those things go. Let go of the need to replay conversations from decades ago. Let go of that nagging feeling that you could have done more, been more, said more. You did what you could with what you knew at the time. And that is enough. Forgiveness is a powerful tool here, not just for others, but for yourself. Forgiveness doesn't mean pretending everything was okay. It means choosing peace over punishment. It means giving yourself the gift of freedom. You don't need to carry it all anymore. You're allowed to lay it down. Decluttering the mind and heart is like opening a window in a stuffy room. Fresh air flows in, and everything feels lighter. Remember, what's behind you can't be changed. But what's within you can still be transformed. Letting go begins in the soul, and it's never too late to begin. Chapter 5. Building a slower, more joyful life. Slowness has a bad reputation in today's world. We're told to move fast, stay productive, and constantly do more. But for those who've lived long enough to see the other side, slowness becomes something sacred. As you age, your body naturally asks for gentler rhythms. You may move a bit more slowly, take your time with things, or find joy in simple moments. And that's not a weakness, that's wisdom. Stress thrives in speed. Peace lives in slowness. Think of the joy in watching the sunrise with a warm cup of tea, taking a walk without a destination, cooking a meal slowly with love, listening deeply to someone without rushing to reply. These may sound like small things, but they are the building blocks of a joyful life. When you slow down, you start noticing more. You begin to see beauty in the ordinary. You remember what it's like to breathe fully, to be present, to feel alive. It's not about doing nothing. It's about doing things with intention and presence. One of the great gifts of aging is that you no longer have to chase the race. You can create your own pace. And in that pace, stress melts away. Not because life becomes perfect, but because you begin to see that peace isn't found in doing more. It's found in being more connected to this moment, just as it is. Choose slowness. Choose joy. Let the world rush by. You're not missing anything. You're exactly where you need to be. Chapter 6. relationships that heal, not harm. As we grow older, one of the most important realizations we come to is this: not every relationship is meant to last forever. And not every relationship deserves a place in your heart. You've spent a lifetime caring for others, perhaps as a parent, a partner, a friend, or a caregiver. But now it's time to ask, who is caring for me? Stress often hides in our relationships, in unspoken expectations, unresolved tensions, and one-sided dynamics. And when you're younger, you might tolerate these things for the sake of harmony, family, or appearances. But now you know better. This is the season to release toxic relationships, gently, honestly, and without guilt. You don't need to explain why you're setting boundaries. You don't need to justify why you don't answer every call or attend every gathering. You're allowed to protect your peace. Healthy relationships feel safe, nourishing, and respectful. They don't leave you drained, anxious, or second-guessing yourself. And here's the beautiful truth: it's never too late to find your people. Friendship in later life is often deeper and more genuine because it's built on shared values, not shared status. It's built on presence, not performance. If you've lost people you loved along the way, that grief is real. But so is the hope of new connection. Whether it's through a local group, a hobby, a place of faith, or a quiet conversation with a neighbor, healing connection is still possible. Stress can be replaced by support. Loneliness can be softened by love. Let go of the need to hold on to relationships that hurt. Make room for relationships that heal. Because in this chapter of life, peace in your heart is far more important than a full calendar. Chapter 7. The Peace in Acceptance. There is a kind of peace that can only come from accepting what is. In our younger years, we fight, we resist, we chase control, we try to fix everything: our circumstances, our bodies, our families, our pasts. And that struggle creates stress. But aging invites us to surrender, not in defeat, but in grace. You begin to realize that some things cannot be changed. Some people won't understand you. Some losses can't be undone. Some chapters must end, even if we're not ready, and in that realization comes a quiet kind of freedom. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means stopping the war within yourself. It means saying, "This is my life, not perfect, but precious. Not easy, but mine." Gratitude flows more easily in this state. You stop focusing on what's missing and start noticing what's present. The warmth of sunlight on your face, the smile of a grandchild or friend, a good night's sleep, a body that still moves, even if slower than before. When we stop trying to control every outcome, we find that life unfolds in ways we never expected, and often in ways more beautiful than we could have planned. Acceptance doesn't take away the hard things, but it allows you to stop struggling with them. And in that surrender, stress fades. Aging helps you see the difference between what's urgent and what's important, what's temporary and what's eternal. And in that clarity, you find peace. Real, lasting peace. Chapter 8. Spiritual Simplicity. As we journey further into life, many of us find ourselves drawn to deeper questions. Questions not about success or survival, but about meaning. Who am I really? Why am I here? What matters most now? This is where spirituality, in whatever form it takes for you, becomes a gentle and powerful companion. For some, it's found in faith and prayer. For others, it's in nature, art, quiet reflection, or a deep sense of connection to something larger than ourselves. Regardless of what you call it, spirituality offers something stress cannot touch: inner stillness. You see, the younger version of you may have chased answers, but the older version has learned to sit with mystery. You no longer need everything to make perfect sense. You don't need to prove or explain what you believe. You simply know what brings peace to your soul. And that is enough. Spiritual. Simplicity means letting go of complexity. It means setting aside the need to fix, to control, to rush. It means learning to say, I don't know, and that's okay. I trust life to unfold as it should. I am safe, even in the unknown. Aging teaches us to slow down, and in that slowness, we hear whispers we once missed, the beauty of a bird's song, the comfort of silence, the presence of the sacred in the everyday. You may begin to release the need for grand achievements and turn instead to simple, soulful things, kindness, presence, prayer, wonder. And in doing so, you find something the world can't offer, peace that passes understanding. Letting go of stress is not just emotional or mental. It's deeply spiritual. It's choosing to trust the unfolding of your life and to walk forward not in fear, but in quiet faith. Conclusion. The gift of aging. And so, here we are, at the quiet, powerful edge of a new beginning. Aging is not a decline. It is an arrival. An arrival into your own wisdom, into your own enoughness, into a freedom that younger years could never give you. You no longer need to rush. You no longer need to please. You no longer need to carry every burden. You've lived. You've learned. And now you can let go. Let go of regret and embrace what you've become. Let go of guilt and rest in your own grace. Let go of control and trust that life will meet you where you are. This chapter of life isn't about chasing more. It's about becoming lighter, freer, truer. It's about peace over pressure, joy over judgment, love over legacy. The truth is, you are already enough, and that is the gift of aging. So breathe deeply, smile softly, walk gently into this moment, because stress no longer owns you. You are finally free.